Hello, guys. I apologise. I know the thing said I will be live between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Something came up and I couldn't really get out of doing it. Put it that way. That's the best way I can put it. I'm live now though, and that's the main thing. Let me just take my hair out of the bubble. So yeah, we're gonna be discussing the situation at the club again, and I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record here with how many times I've done a stream about this said subject recently, about what's going on with Westwood and Hutch. Also with what the situation is with what the comments Monk said this week, and also some other bits that I'm just gonna talk about as well. Let me just post this live so I can get some people in, and let me just go grab my iPad. So give me a little moment and everything will be live. Well, we are live now, but you know what I mean. Start reading comments and stuff. Just give me 5 minutes. Like I said, I apologise for being late. Family member needed some tech support. Right, let's go to live streaming. Hello, DJ. How are you, mate? A shame that Westford's probably going to go at the end of the season. To be fair, we don't know that yet. It's possible. I'm not going to lie. It does sound more possible that he will. But at the same time, we will make a profit on him. And if you remember, Westwood was I think he was a free signing. So we'll make profit. And that's something we haven't done in a while. We've not made any profit on our players. So if we can actually make some profit on players, I'm happy with that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens there. So hang on a moment. Right, that tweeted, that's done that. So Callum, evening Callum, how are you, mate? We must not give up. Villa were 7 points off playoff last season with 15 games to go. We are 6 points. To be fair, yes, they were, but we now need to start getting some of our strikers playing well and connecting and starting to get some of the goals. So I understand what you're saying, kind of thing. I understand what you're saying there, and I do get it. I do get that we can still realistically do it, but like Monk said and come out and said, playoff might have not been the goal this year. And to be fair, considering our start and how much upheaval we had, I'm pretty happy with what we're at the minute, with where we are, to be fair. So we'll see what happens there on that one. So let's start with the big one. Hutch and Westwood freeze out, right? So that freeze out, we don't know what's going on. Let's be honest. Let's all be honest. We can read what everyone's saying. We can read what everyone's saying and what everyone's wanting to understand, kind of thing. And but unless we're in a position to know what's going on, and if you've been told in confident what's going on, don't make it public. At the end of the day, it's not our thing. If they have been frozen out, then it will be very strange for them to be turning up to training, kind of thing, day in, day out, like they are doing. They are coming to training. So it would be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm intrigued with it all, to be fair. So we'll see what happens. Seen a lot of blame for Cammy for the goal last week. Yes, it was a mistake via Mickey, but any other day we'd have nailed it. And Dawson's a weird one for me, DJ, because he's very much improved. He has very much improved, but I still personally think his kicking needs a bit more work. His distribution, and let's be fair, it was very windy that day, and he had the sun in his eyes, so it's a mistake keepers normally do make. So it is one of those ones where I'm all right for him to do it, but it that whole situation, it does happen. Keepers do make mistakes. Just unlucky that it wasn't with us last week. Yeah, true. Are you of the mindset of giving Monk a summer, or you cut him? I'm of the mindset that we give Monk at least 2 years. You give Monk 2 seasons to, 1, let him bring in his own players in the summer. 2, let him have chance for the players. Wow, it's back snowing again. I'm of the mindset of letting Monk have a chance with it, because he's not had a fair crack yet, let's be honest. Wow, can you hear that? It's properly coming down again. I'm of the mindset of letting Monk have at least a chance. He's not had a chance to do anything. At the end of the day, Monk's not had a chance to do anything in this team. He's not been able to put his own mark on. So let him bring in players he wants, let him bring his own backroom staff, and give him at least 2 seasons before we turn around and said, this isn't good enough. If you get another manager in, you're just going to have the same issue, just with a different face. We all know this squad is 4 years old, and it needs to get improved ASAP. But when we do, it'll be better. But right now, you can't judge Monk on this season. He came in when the team was in a real bind, and let's be fair, we were no one thought when some of the games we'd have, we would be doing this well at times and be this close, considering how disjointed it was. So yeah, let's have a look. But we need to go and fight, not slump too deep. But the fan base need to use a slight grain of intelligence and understand the situation we are in, and that Monk have been handled. Very exactly, Callum. I 100% agree with you there. He's not been given anything to work with. He come in really strange circumstances. It's not every day that someone's had to come into a team when 2 weeks before the transfer, before the season, your manager's left. So yeah, I completely agree with that one. I really do. Monk needs at least 2 seasons, Glenn, to make the team his. Then we start throwing our weight around once he's properly bedded in. Exactly. Agree. 14 goals in 15 home games, not acceptable. Glenn, you're saying that's not acceptable, and I understand this as a fan. I understand the passion. I get it. It's not acceptable. But at the same time, we've had a back four that constantly chopped and changed. We've not had a settled back four this year. And that can't be all Dawson's fault. He got a team in front of him. They got to be put up and held responsible for it. The team. Football is a team game. The team needs to be held responsible for it. Not just Dawson. At the end of the day, you win as a team, you lose as a team. And if you're going to blame it on one player, then it's not the right mindset. You have to understand that back four has not been right all season. And our back four has not been solid for a while, and it needs to be. So if we can actually get that, that'd be fantastic. So it's not acceptable, but we need to improve. We really do need to improve, to be fair. But at the same time, how do you improve the team with what we got? We need to do a lot better than what we are doing. I will admit to that. Villa also had comfortable players who just wanted to pay check. There's no excuse not to try and down the pitch every game. We need to go down fighting at least mentality, beat talent any day. Yeah, you're right. You're dead right. And there's a lot of players that I think are going to be in for a shock come the summer who thought in old regime they might turn around and go, we might not have we might have had the situation where we have, say, not what's the word I'm looking for? We've not had the right players in who were big household name, but they were good. The one situation I will say, and I'll address it now, the one place we haven't never ever seen to replace is we've never found a good replacement for Semedo. Ever. We had not found a replacement for Semedo, and we still lack that now, and that needs to happen. We don't go enough goal for... We don't go for good enough goal, but we know why that is. We know why we don't go enough goal. We don't create enough. Or we create a lot, and we don't take the chances. Our striking department has been lacklustre for a while now. It has been for a while. And it got to improve, but that improvement comes in the summer. It's not going to come straight away. You're going to put all your eggs on one basket on Connor Wickham. Not really someone you really want to do when you're just coming out of fitness and you want to play games. It might work. Our biggest problem, we relied on people who are proven goal scorers. And because they're proven goal scorers, they've not done it. And we're like, well, he's a proven goal scorer. Why is he not doing it? Maybe it's time to think outside the box a little bit when it comes to signing players next, and maybe getting like a League One striker who wants a chance to show people what he can do. I think we'll release Winnall to save money. Even if you release him, you're not saving money though. You've still got to pay something, pay what's left of your contract, so you don't know how much that'll be. I understand the statement, I get it, but at the same time, we do need to do something. I'd rather just sell him. And to be fair, whatever we make on him is going to be profit. Because I think we only paid 500k for him. It was a small amount. So whatever we do, we will pay thingy. The thing is, we got a lot of players in the squad who are on... we have the situation where there's a lot of players in the squad. Once we sell them, we have to give other clubs a portion of the money. So Rhodes have got one, Reach have got one, both Middlesbrough, funnily enough. Barnsley got one. I believe, who is it? There's another one. There's another one where there's a sell-on fee. A portion of the percentage goes back to the club. I think Chancellor is a bit worried about that. Knowing for how many goals we have got, 14, 15. Yeah, it's not good enough. I agree, Glenn. It's not. Diminution with most of the defence side, okay, but we still need further play. We need a lot. We need to start by looking, and I'm starting to go down a little bit the Callum route that youth might be what saves us here. A bit of a mix of youth out of our own youth team setup and a bit of experience, but not on the over 30 line, like 26, 27 kind of age range. I think we might go down that route, and I'd like to see it, to be honest with you. Hutch has a massive ego, and so does Westwood, so I get it. Makes me laugh how some people claim they are in the know. I know what you mean about that. They do have big. I don't really want to say ego because they've got big personalities, and they are very strong people in the dressing room. And we all know that. But it does seem like, especially with Westwood, there have been a couple of times he's fallen out with a lot of players. And they've gone for whatever reason. So we have to be cautious about it, really. We have to be cautious with whatever happens. Need a proper backroom. Yeah, we do. We do need a proper backroom staff. He's not got anyone in from Birmingham properly or any other where else. And that'll come. But if you remember... Steve Bruce had the added thing that when he came in, he had his own backroom staff with him straight away. So that's why it kind of worked straight away. That's why it kind of worked straight away, because he had his own people in already. And then he started to add to it. So you got sports scientists, you got the scouts, you got all those things starting thing. And we've not done that yet. And you got to remember, he'd taken him a while to get the squad where I think he wants it. And like he keeps saying, he knows a lot more about the squad now. He knows which players are not going to work well. And I personally think he's going to be a manager that's not going to take any crap. And people got really pissed off at him for when he picked the same team when it had the whole situation. I think it was Wigan. He picked the same team after they got an Elliott saying this ain't good enough. Things are going to change. There's players in. There's not a lot he can do at that point for the next game. Because you either lose the entire dressing room by making changes here, there, and everywhere, or hear me out here, you have the situation where you make those changes, the players come in who are not on the fringes, and they come and and it gives them a kick up the arse. It goes two ways, and it doesn't work both ways. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you or did you not say? No, I did say, but I also said, Glenn, I also turned around and said I will back Monk if he got the manager's job. I did say I did not want Gary Monk as manager due to what happened off the pitch. So not in management. And I did say, but I also did say I would back him if he came in, because that's what happened. I wouldn't be happy that he's in, but I did say I would back him. But I know what you're saying. I don't think the appointment was desperate. I think the appointment was, this was the best manager out there. The only reason, I've noticed this as well, people are going, this was a desperate appointment, this was a bad appointment. Not many people were saying that a couple of weeks ago. People were actually quite okay with him and doing fine and happy with what was going on. And it's only recently that it started to kind of go backwards. But Monk, he'd proven the Championship. He when he was at Birmingham fans were a bit gutted he went, because they thought he was about to build a team for him. And it's a weird one. Yes, I said I didn't want him due to other reasons. It wasn't anything to do with football abilities or anything like that, but it was more to do with dodgy dealings that rumours had happened. And since then, we've not heard anything about it. So for me, that probably says to me that it's been swept underneath the rug and it's not there. Or it's been investigated and nothing happened from it. But I get your point. Thank you for bringing me up on it, Glenn, because sometimes that's good to sing. But it's interesting. Let's have a look. Monkey proven, yep, he is. I will keep Forrester because he has not a good chance. Yeah, fourth area would be an interesting one, Declan. If we could keep fourth area, it would only be on a 1-year contract for me, because he got to do a lot of proving. But he had changed game, but he got missing. We'd only have one really good season from him, which is a shame. We've not really seen much from him. I offer is not a right back anymore. I hope we use him as a centre back. I hope so too. I think we've only just been using him there, pal, because we've needed to, and he can play that position. We'll see what happens there. So, it's touch and go, if you know what I mean. Our fans have heard this all before. It's more step back. Not really. I don't think it's step back. I think as fans we have to now be realistic. At the end of the day, we're not. Let's be fair. First season under Carlos, no one was expecting us to get to the playoffs. Second season under Carlos, we expected playoffs afterward. Third season with Carlos and then into Joss, we thought, okay, we might be able to do something here. Didn't work out with Carlos, and to be fair, he should have gone after that second playoff. But you can't keep chopping and changing managers like we keep doing now. We went through a period back in the 2000s where we would have a new manager in, out, and it never did us any good. Josh came in, started okay, alienated too many senior pros, got the sack, tried to blend in youth too much youth and not enough experience, and that's why that didn't work. So he went. Steve Bruce came in. Everyone was happy with that appointment. Everyone loved that appointment. Everyone was ready to hear him build a team for this season and think of it. And then he then had the opportunity to go to Newcastle. I think if that was at any other club other than Newcastle, he may have actually turned it down. But because it was in Newcastle, his heart went above his head and went with that. So at the end of the day, and we got bullshitted with that one. I said whatever happened this season, it was already going to be a write-off because of the manager situation and because how long it took us to get a manager. It was always going to be a write-off season this year. We were never going to be looking at getting into the playoff personally. I thought mid-table was going to be a good place for us to be this season, considering what's happened at the start of it. Let's have a look. Glenn, the reason we didn't want Monk in as manager because of the underhand transfer deal, supposedly. His management was never questioned. Just that what the media said about dealing. Exactly, that's exactly what I said, DJ. And yeah. I hope we can get playoff. Playoff is capable. We can get playoff, but I just think it's a bridge too far now. I think it's too much for these players to try and do. And has anyone actually ever noticed that we never have a good Christmas period? Bear in mind, our Christmas periods are shite. We have a very, very bad Christmas period. We always had done. We always have had a bad Christmas period. And that's something that needs to change. Monkey, the canning operator, he's had class recruitment. They're always bargaining like out of mouth for them. Exactly. He is very good. He got good contact. So no one heard of this Crew person, and he come in. And yeah, he'd only had 2 games, but he looks like he can change a game. He does look like he knows how to change games. And that's something you need. You need someone who can change games. Windass might be the perfect fit for us. We don't know yet, but he was a player that obviously didn't sound like he was happy at Wigan. So let's see what happens there. He's not saying what fan wants to. Yeah, but here's the thing, Glenn. Fans shouldn't have to want to hear what fans want to hear. We've all, for years and years and years, we said we want a straight shooting manager. We want someone who will speak to us as fans and actually turn around and say, and say how we want it. We always used to say, Carlo, can you just tell us how it is? Or Steve Bruce has had it where he said, oh, it was an okay form, but we could do better. We've always wanted a manager that tells us how it is. We now have a manager that now tells us how it is, and now everyone doesn't want him. He's telling the truth. But people are turning around and said, I don't want him now because he's telling the truth. Is it because the truth is too much to hear, and we are a little bit more of a mid-table team than we actually thought we were? To be fair, you've got to have this whole situation where you can't have it both ways. You can't want a manager to come out and tell how it is and how it is, but then also turn around and tell him that you can't, oh, I don't want you to tell me that's a little bit close to the nerve. You can't have it both ways. You either have a manager who tells it how it is, or you don't. You can't have both. Doesn't work. I'm all for youth, but need to be smart. The best way to make money and generate it. Exactly. We do need to start using the youth and start making a bit of money off them because we don't make any money and we need to start making profits. Why do fans still hold Carlos in such high regards? I still hold him in high regards, and now and I say this comment people will shoot me down for. No, I still hold Carlos with high regards. He did superb. Considering we'd never heard of him, he was a fantastic manager for the club and he did great work. We never expected playoffs season 1. We expected it season 2. And I think the Carlos situation is because people are going back to the old times and they're reminiscing. And this is the thing, we need to move forward and stuff. I still hold Carlos. He's a superb manager. He's doing really well with Ray Arve. He is a very good manager. People looked at his record when he came in and said, he's fucking shit, he is. And he actually turned out to be a really damn good manager. And I've got all the time in the world for Carl. I would definitely have him back if we ever had the opportunity. even though I sometimes say you shouldn't go back again, he does have unfinished business. He was a very good manager. He really was a good manager, and he did so well. And you got to remember, we achieved some great stuff that season. If we turned up a little bit more against Hull, we may have got to the final. We just were poor. And I think that was a mixture of getting to the final and over-celebrating at Brighton. And then you got the Huddersfield thing. We just didn't turn up on that one. It's just big occasion we didn't turn up on the main stage, which we needed to. And that's why it went wrong. Actually, still hold Carlos in high regard. He was superb manager, helped us to overachieve that season, included beating Arsenal. He lost the team through injuries. Yeah. Monk with the dog bollocks in December, but apparently he's shit now. Yeah, it's what's doing my head in a little bit now, Callum. That he's back in December, back in November, he was doing really well, and now everyone can't be off with him. I would keep Atty. I would definitely keep New Hugh, just because he gives us something off the bench that we don't have a lot of. Having someone off the bench is something I highly agree with. I keep him, and he won't be on much money either. I would definitely keep New Hugh because he's one of the players who can do something for you. I know Atty's one of these players who's not everyone cup of tea. I get that, but he does offer something. I will keep him. He's not on much money. I was released on Nando on 30k and his mind 34 and he's now 30. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Nando's going to be an interesting one. It all depends if Monk wants to have him in his team for next season. It all depends if he's seen enough to offer him a new contract. It's an interesting because he's a little bit injury prone now as well. So 50-50 at the minute. No, actually, I'll say 60-50. The 60 of me saying probably let him go and start fresh. But it all depends. Sitting on the cop in the freezing cold weather, 5-0 down and let's all just at mid-table. It could be a realist, mate. I'm sorry, but you have to. It could be a realist. You pay your money to watch a game of football, right? And yes, you expect your team to win, right? It could be realistic. It's football. It's not going and playing FIFA. If this is how it is at the minute, it is how it is. If you don't want to sit in the freezing cold, kind of thing, and not at mid-table, don't go to games. That is the simple answer. If that is your argument, don't go to the game. No one forcing you to go Wednesday. No one forcing you to go to the games. At the end of the day, Glenn, if that's the thing, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, this is what the situation we're in at the minute. Fans need to be realistic, and we're not. As fans, we're not realistic at the minute at all. I think there's too many fans who are still looking at us being that. Let me just move something around here on my screen. I keep looking over there, doing my head in. Hang on. I know I'm out of mid-flow. Fucking hell. I put it there instead. We have to be realistic. That's where we are now. We are mid-table for a while. And I don't like saying it, but I think that's what we have to accept what we are. We are a mid-table team at the moment. For the sake of argument's sake, accept it for a little bit. And I know you pay your money on the cup and you want to see good football, but at the same time, the Man United fans who still think they should be in the Championship, in the Champions League and stuff, and they're expecting miracle to come out of their situation, and it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, is it? Kind of thing. Man United fans have got the same situation at the minute, that they want to see more. They don't think Ollie's the right man, and they feel like they've been shortchanged. Kind of thing. But we have to accept what it is for a bit. I think Martin O'Neill will be a decent since he's looking to be assistant. If Martin O'Neill came as assistant, that would be good, but he will cost a hell of a lot of money. He will be on a fair bit of money, to be fair, and I don't know how much money we will be able to invest in recruitment. in that kind of thing. I don't know how much money we will be able to do in recruitment in terms of a assistant kind of thing. I'm not sure. So we just have to accept this. Fair enough. I wonder how many fans will not invest in it. I think a lot of fans are not going to invest next season. I think a lot of fans are going to kind of vote with their wallets and not turn up. But there's a set of fans that will always do it, but always turn around and say the same stuff because it's their kind of thing. The problem is he's still running the club as a business and not as a football business. Until he gets that through his head, we're always going to feel a little bit shortchanged because he's trying to find ways of making more money. He's trying to get more people in. And it is what it is, I'm afraid. And you will get people who won't want to invest next season, but you will also get people who will always invest. And the problem is, he's still not getting the season tickets right. And once he gets that right, it'll be better. I saw a comment here that I forgot. Hang on. Hey, Chris. All you've missed is me being late. I was very late, so you've not missed much. I feel like we're being shortchanged. It is what it is. Try being a Man United fan, or try being one of them. It what would happen. I love Carlos. Yeah, I did as well. You have to learn to walk before run, unfortunately. Under Carlos, we ran before walking. Now we've fallen badly. But we have to get up and learn all over again. Yeah, it's very, very true. It got to be that. How it is gonna be. Joss had the right idea, but execution for exactly. Joss were doing it the wrong way by putting too many in. It needed to be more. Tom Matthews, Monk out, Karanka in. That will be cost a lot of money to get him in. I don't know how much money we want to spend on that. It's a good shout, but Tom, can I ask why you're asking Monk out after not having his team or his players in? Let's put that in first. He's not had his players in. Hang on, you're going Karanka in. Hang on, stop before you go in. Tell me why Monk out and why Karanka in, and why you're not giving Gary Monk at least 2 seasons with his own players in. That's what I want to know. Hate sounding like a stuck record, but sometimes it's like we're going around in circles. Do you agree? I do agree. But I also agree that sacking the manager every time it doesn't work is also going around in circles. It's the stupid thing. You're saying Karanka in, but he's not had any time. He's not had no time at all. Hang on, mate. I can't see because it's stupid cable. If this goes down, it's because I'm an idiot and I've moved the cable around. That's better. I can see now. That's a lot. I think some fans have to accept that we need some new players in by releasing some players. We have been here for 4 years plus. We need to give Monk time to bring fresh players in. I agree with you, Chris. I 100% agree with you there, Chris. I think there's too many players who are not... I do agree they need some fresh blood in. While ever we are in the position we are in, the other side of the city will be laughing at us, and that's always what getting under a lot of Winter fans. Close. Yeah, but let's also look at it the other way. Okay, if you're going to do that then, and they're laughing at us, big whoop. They support Sheffield United, let them laugh at us. I bet there was a lot of Wednesday fans that were laughing at them when they were in the League One. It's how football is. If they want to laugh at us, then fair be it. Leave them to it. I've never seen so many fans that have to... all right, pal. You be good, mate. Declan. I'd never seen so many people look at Wednesday result when they support another club. At the end of the day, leave them to it. If that's what they want to do. For fuck's sake, some of their fans this week decided to go break into Hillsborough and have a shit on our pitch. you really want to have those people get under your skin? Really? You really want that kind of mentality to get under your skin? Leave them to it. They're doing well in the Premiership. Fair play to them. Hats off to them. They're probably going to get Europe next year. They're doing really well. They've got a very good manager. But he buys into it because he's a Sheffield United fan. We had that under Gary Megson. It didn't quite work out, kind of thing. So it is what it is. Leave them to it. Let them laugh. I'm not bothered. I couldn't care. Either way, at the end of the day, all we should be caring about is Sheffield Wednesday. And if fans want to say stuff, have a bit of banter with them. If they take it too far, walk away. That's all you have to do. Let's have a look. I would definitely release Lee and Hutch. They are on a lot of wages. Joey ain't a lot, but he's only seemed to work as a sweeter. Winnell out for me. Good money. Dave, I will keep he cheap. Yeah. Lee, I think he's probably going to get released, to be honest with you. He's probably going to get released. I don't think he's started enough games. I kind of want Lee to get released or sold, to be fair, which will be interesting to see what happens. Mate, regardless of what squad he has, I see nothing to see that he warrants longer max at the end of the season. That doesn't make sense, though, Tom. That doesn't make sense to me. He can only work with what he got, kind of thing. And it's your opinion, and I'm not dissing your opinion. It's your opinion. If that's what you think it should be, then fair enough. That's your opinion. But I don't see how he's able to go on with it, and kind of thing. We are going to be absolutely on a rebuild. Definitely. If Monk's here, either way. If Monk's here at the end of the season, it's a rebuild. I don't know if he's got a contract till the end of the season or what. It'll be interesting to see what that is. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I appreciate your opinion, mate. And it's what happens. Let's have a look. Tickets are... Tommy's had nothing. His hands off fucking tied. Yeah, very true. It is very, very true indeed. I do agree with you here, though, Tom. The ticket prices should acknowledge the rebuilding program and how it is at the minute. It should really be restructured to what it is now and not what they are, how it should be going forward. I think Chansiri is asking a lot for Wednesday fans to pay for a team that's, let's be fair, underperforming, not playing to its potential at times. And that one, I do agree. The ticket prices should reflect it. But let's be honest, he has not reflected the ticket prices for Sheffield. He tried to see a London-style way of doing it, and it's not worked yet. And that's somewhere, like I said. I said it a lot, and I'll keep saying it. We need a chairman type, like a Daniel Levy and Chansiri, to be just owner. Not run it, just owner. He signed the checks and that's it. And he hires someone else to do everything else who's a footballing person. That's the way this works. The problem is, Chansiri seems like he wants to have a bit of everything in everyone's pocket, kind of thing. So, I understand what you're saying. Cruz is on 3K a week and Windass only on 5. It's good business. And Cruz, I read there is actually, if it goes well, there is a ability for to buy him at the end of the loan period. And I don't think he'd want much money. I would take him. He's a young player. You could model him to be the new Fez a little bit. So it would be interesting to see what happens. Also, this isn't the first manager who's had problems with a group of players, so it proves that it's not all Montpov, so people need to give him time to come to his head. Agree, I completely agree. It's not the first time a player's had a problem, a manager's have problems with players, and maybe some people need to remember that and look at that a little bit more, because this isn't the first time two players has had a problem with them two same players as have a problem with manager. So let kind of do with that, with what happens there. A lot of fan favourite will be going. Then that won't go down. It won't go down very well, but there's a lot of fan favourites that are going to be going because they're old. There's a lot of fan favourites who are the wrong ages now, and it needs as much of people like fan favourites shouldn't really get too emotionally attaching footballers, because their job is to play for one team and then play for another one, kind of thing. They're not here to stay at the club for the rest of their careers like some players have done in the past. At the end of the day, some of these fan favourites are players who now need to move on because maybe because it's been too comfortable, kind of thing. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. I imagine we have made a lot of money for the 4 million Bruce, 2 million for the assistants, and money for Lucas Zhao. Bacon Thornley, don't know the fee. Do you? If profit end of the day, I think that I don't know how much Thornley and Baker were. I know Thornley, I believe there is a sell-on clause somewhere in it. I believe there is some sort of sell-on clause in it. But we have made some money. We are starting to learn about it a bit more. But we need to do more of that because it's not... It's the annoying thing that after how long have he been? I think he's been here 5 years now. DC? Someone quote me on that. I might have got that wrong. He's been here 5 years now and he's still not realising and figuring things out and that he needs help. That's the bit that worries me. He's not going into things. We're still charging prices that raise eyebrow even when we were battling for top 3. Oh, yeah, I agree. The way he's running the football club as a football club is bad. But at the same time, I don't see any other person coming in and buying the club. I don't see the people who were queuing up around the ground to buy us when Milan sold us. I don't see, for right now, he's the person who's staying. He's the person who owns the club, and that's all we can do. The only way you get things to change and stuff, and get things to change for the better, if that's how you want it, is to go with your feet, not turn up. And then he might listen and say, this is why it's thing. We don't know how much things are costing, kind of thing. No, I don't think we need a director of football. I think what we need is a chairman. So at Tottenham, and I always use it as an example because it's one of the best examples I can use. At Tottenham, Daniel Levy does not own the club. He is appointed as a chairman, right? So Daniel Levy doesn't own that club. Hang on a minute. The owner is the ENIC group, right? Wow, I didn't know it was the ENIC group, kind of thing. Anyway, so that's a lot. Chairman, Daniel Levy. So if we go to the English National Investment Company, which owner is Joe Lewis. So the EINC is owned by Joe Lewis, who therefore owns Tottenham Hotspur, right? Total shares, Tottenham Hotspur. Leasley owns 29.4% of it. So not a lot. They currently got 85% of it. Levy got 29% of it. So he did get a vote. He did get a say in whatever happens, right? But, so 2001, they bought it from Alan Sugar and Levy became chairman, right? So Joe Lewis and Daniel Lee, who control about 52% of the shares, right? And it's this whole thing. Levy does have an ownership, but it's not the complete ownership of it, right? It is not the complete ownership. So even though Levy got a little bit, 85% of it is owned by Joe Lewis. And Joe Lewis doesn't want to be involved with the day-to-day running, i.e. contracts, players, recruitment. He leaves Levy to it, and that's it. So that's what I would want to see. So see someone come in and say to Chancery, right, I want to buy 29% of shares in the club, right? So say we buy 29, say something by 29%, but Turner says, right, I want to be chairman, but I want to do some of the looking at players and this, that, and that. The only problem is that if you do this, you had the situation that happened at Sheffield United, which is now all sorted, of ownership kind of thing. So that's how I'd do it. Why is Lungo so injured at the minute? I don't know, mate. It's a weird one. It just seems like you keep picking up little niggly knocks, which ain't good. Chansiri's not changing his ways now. He's still using Doyle and Port to scout player. Fed up with him on ticket prices for the City game. It's the final show for me. We should have dropped. I agree, Craig. We should have dropped ticket prices, and they are ridiculously expensive. He's still using Doyle and Port, not as much as he did. I'll admit that. He's not using as much as how heavily reliant he was in first. Yet he's still using, which kind of worried me a little bit. It does worry me that they're still involved, and I don't like that. And I was hoping that would have been something that got kicked to the curb and gone soon. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon, sadly. I'd like it to, but it's just not. It is kind of what it is, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. It is what it is, and I'm not happy with it that we still use them, but there's not a lot we can do about it. It is who he uses, and that's it. So we're not in charge of the club. It is what it is. Yeah, but tickets should have been dropped. Tell it how it is, Jay. Thank Callum. I appreciate that, mate. Right. The whole thing with Red Bull, they have been interested in Leeds. They have been interested in us. They've been interested in a lot of clubs. And each time someone gets interested in it, we hear that it's not enough money or it's not enough. The problem is that the thing is, I don't think Chansiri wants to sell. And that's the issue you've got. You've got someone who doesn't want to sell right now. I think he's still trying to do it. And even if the Red Bull come in, can you see a lot of Wednesday fans being happy being called Red Bull Wednesday? Because that's what they do. Let's just remember, Red Bull go into club and they gut their history. The Red Bull lot gut people's histories, and you lose a bit of it. And yeah, Red Bull would be great to come to. We would have a lot of money. It would change things. We would have massive sponsorship from the word go. But you've also got the other thing is, how much do we know if that was real? Kind of thing. How much was that just paper talk? We don't know how much it was. They still have said they still want to get into a UK football team. They still want to buy a UK football team. And they're just not yet. To be fair, it would have been nice if we say we got like a Red Bull before Chansiri came in, kind of thing, as someone. But at that point, I don't think they were looking. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's put it that way. But they do go in and gut teams. They do gut teams, and that's the problem. You don't get to have your thing. Your badge would change overnight. You would have to have the Red Bull logo, kind of thing. And for a lot of people, changing a club's history like that, a lot of people don't like. I'm not going to lie, a lot of people do not like when a club's history gets changed like that due to money. So it's interesting what it is. What if we do get playoffs? If we got playoffs, I'd be very happy with it. But at the same time, would you? Do you think we would do well in the playoffs? I hope Bruce survived DC well, getting IOF in for 5K. I would surprise me because the same scouting network's still there that Bruce brought in, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's still decent there and it's good. kind of stuff. Look at Southport, look at Lions. Not a bad company being in is no team for Arsenal. Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying if Red Bull came in, right? I'm not saying if Red Bull came in, kind of thing, that it wouldn't be good business. It would be great business. They do turn clubs around and they make teams a lot better. They make teams into the big franchises. I hate that word, but it is what it will be. It will be a big franchise for them to get a team, and as our history. But I don't know if he wants to sell. We don't know how real it is. Never rated Dawson. No disrespect to the lad, but we need Westwood back. That one could be all interesting what happens there. We do need a bit more with Westwood back, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, I said it earlier, it's going to be one of those ones where time will tell. It doesn't sound like he's going to be putting Westwood in with the comments he made at the end of the interview. He kind of said he's just gone back in, he's still going to be in. But I understand what he's saying. We know Red Bull want to move into the English football team. Yeah, we do. Everyone knows Red Bull want to move into the English football team. And they massively want a team. And the problem is they can't find that team yet. As much as it sounds daft, I could actually see Red Bull buying MK Dons. Kind of thing. Buying MK Dons, bringing them up and doing something like that. And doing it that way. And already have a team who's well known for not being liked because they were split from Wimbledon, so they're not going to be liked again because it's all bought. I understand what you're saying. I do get that. I don't know if anyone knows it, but can somebody have a look, or I will look at myself. What are the kind of like fair play things for like Red Bull, the teams Red Bull and that have got kind of thing? Because got to remember, they won't be able to throw money at it. They've got to show profits and losses. So they won't be able to just throw money at it and hope it worked. Anything on the Hearst legal case? Haven't heard much on that one yet. I heard something is happening, but it's not much is going in the right way, if that makes sense. We would 100% be promoted under Red Bull. How? That's a strong statement. That's a very, very strong statement to say we will 100% be promoted under Red Bull. It doesn't always sometimes work when a new owner comes in and you're straight away promoted. It's a big statement. I understand what you're saying. Would it be worth Prem football? Tom, can you just redo your one again for me, mate? Kind of thing, because what do you mean? Would it be worth for Prem football if we had Red Bull ownership, or if we got promoted on the playoffs? But nothing. You can't do 100% conclusion in football. It, like Callum said, it's one of those things. It is up and down. You can't guarantee that we will be 100% promoted with Red Bull. They've got to bring the right player in. They've got to bring the right manager in. They want to gut it from top to bottom. So you would have to see what has happened. Lungo did have a pre-season, but not much of one by the sounds of it. I don't think he had a great one. Also, did we pay $4 million to him because Lee got a $3 million big rejector for him? I haven't actually seen what got paid for him. It's still that they kept that quite quiet, and I think there's good reason for why they kept it quiet. To be honest with you, it's very quiet at the minute, and I'd like to know roughly what we paid for him because Lee did go in for it and it did get rejected. It wouldn't surprise me if we did put a $4 million bid in. It's the kind of deal we would do. I think Forrest got rejected as well. Hope Fox and Longo will fit. I hope Fox and Longo will be fit for next game. I think Fox has been the most improved player of this season. He's been fantastic this year. He has been a really, really good player this year. He's massively improved. I am well happy with how he's been playing. It's such a shame he got injured when he did, because he started to do well. But I understand what you're saying, Tom, about the Red Bull thing. And it will be the first club that they get will always be the club that they challenge, if that makes sense, try and work out. Once they do get into it, I think you'll see them do well. in England, but it just seen what happened. There's not a lot of teams that like tradition and fans that like tradition being ripped up to start again, and that's the issue you had there. Also, just remember, if we do sell, say Chansiri does sell, that sale is now 10 times bloody complicated than it should be, because of how many different companies he's set up and God knows what to try and hide things. Or how to hide things, that's the wrong word. Actually, it probably is the right word, actually, thinking about it. I don't know. I don't want to say hide because it sounds a bit bad, but at the same time, it's not, if that makes sense. Let's have a look here. But it... oh, hello, I didn't see that. Monk on goalkeeping situation. They've been called for Cameron Dawes to lose his place after 13 chances to emotions on hands. Dawson found himself. It was not Dove. It was not Dawson's first error of the calendar year. Let me just have a look at this. Monk defender to Hill refusing to blame after Wenty fell. Goalkeeper will make fin. The pulls across. It was when did it get put up? 5 hours ago. He wrote down by his man. When I asked Monk if Dawson was still the number one for after Barnsley. Oh, there you go then. So Monk is going to be the number one still for the game again Luton. So there you go. He's gaining good experience. He's young. Yeah, it's the whole situation. It's typical Wednesday. I'm not gonna lie. It is typical when. Oh, I apologise for that. I'm a bit phlegmy. Hang on. Let me just open some of these tabs up a minute. I have opened two. Right, let me go back. Where am I? I will gut the club, be worth promoting on promotion point, and I mean we could get RB Lights and RB Low. So you would gut 150 years worth of history to have mega mucks books in, kind of thing, and to get to there is and have to start all over again, right? Okay. So you've got 150 years history to let RB Likes It to do what they... And yeah, I understand what they could help with Loney, they could help with that. Kind of thing. But it's... Like I said, the Red Bull model, people have shown they like it and they don't like it. Pure football fans hate it. Kind of thing. Let's have a look here. These moaning about Wenty. We know we're mid-table team right now. We could be Leeds, start off amazing, finish the season shit. I mean, they were top and now look their last 2 or 3. Yeah, and it's... And let's also remember, Leeds are a good example to show about ownership. They pumped a load of money in it. Didn't work first time. They then they got the new owner in, who starting to get thing. And look at here. Bielsa is a world-class manager. Like, world-class manager. He's managed all over the place. And he still can't get out of the Championship. He still can't get out of it at the minute. And he's trying for the second time. And they're slipping up again. Like, I've got it on here. They are 1-1 with Brentford at the minute. And they don't seem like they're going to make anything at the minute. So it's always interesting to see what happens. So it'll be interesting to see how things happen and what kind of thing. Where do you think it will end? Do you think DC... I hope DC achieves the goal. I really do. And also, let's also remember, DC could have to be in a position where he may have to be forced to sell the club. Say, because everyone, I don't think many people have picked up on this, that if DC say the charged by the FL, and one of the charges that have been looked at is possibly Chansiri being banned from owning any football clubs again. We could be in a position where he's forced to sell us because he's banned from owning any football teams due to whatever reason. It would be a very extreme way of doing it, but we may have to look at new owners anyway in that sense if that came to it. That's how I think. Westwood did walk off and call Palmer a fucking idiot during the West Brom game. Then he did not clap the fans. Since he hasn't played, this all happened on the pitch. Emotions run high. We don't, like I said, we don't know what's going on. At the end of the day, Monk has turned around and said in the press conference today that Dawson will be number one. It's looking more and more and more and more that it more looking like that Westwood is being frozen out. It really does. Into that kind of statement. So if that's the case, that is the case. There's not a lot we can do about it. So it could be that it's like you don't turn around and say, fuck it. You don't know what happened afterwards in the dressing room and stuff. So it's one of those things, like we said before, it's not the first time Westwood has had a problem with a player or manager at the club. So take it with a pinch of salt. The only thing I like about Red Bull is that they might give some of our players some energy that they're currently lacking. Well done, Chris. That's very quick. Yeah, very quick. Oh wow! I just looked on Transfer Market. We paid 900k bargain. Wow, decent thing. Leeds owner now is better than Chansiri at the minute because he's running it as a football club. This is what I keep saying. Chansiri doesn't run Sheffield Wednesday as a football club. He runs Sheffield Wednesday as a business, and not a footballing business. He runs it as one of his other businesses, and this is where he's going wrong. This is where he's going. It's not being run as a football business, and this is why it needs to happen. So it's all up in the air, kind of thing. What happened? He needs to learn to run the club as a football business, and until that happens, we're gonna struggle. We are going to struggle. Until that happens, we're going to struggle. Wow, Blackburn are beating Hull 3-0. We did make them look good. Wigan. Excuse me. Wigan 2-2 with Middlesbrough. Don't think anyone taking the final playoff spots. It's up for grabs. It does feel a little bit like when we got into the playoff final. Let's be fair. It does feel like when we got to the playoff final where no one was going for that final position. So it'd be interesting. That would be a great miss if he's banned from football, to be honest, especially with him owning the stadium. It could be. Oh yeah, it could be an absolute shit show. It really could. If he's banned from owning football, it would cause a nightmare because we then got to buy. Whoever comes in has got to then buy the club, the stadium, and whatever else kind of thing. Oh, I agree. It could be an absolute shit show if it did happen because we've had this once before with Dave Allen where it wasn't run. I don't want to say it was run badly. It wasn't run well. I'll put it that way. It wasn't run well. And he did keep us afloat and stuff, but he alienated the fans. That's the one thing Chansiri's not done yet. He's not alienated the fans more, but like you said, with the prices, with tickets and stuff, and people said it could end up going that way. Hang on a minute, let me just check the battery. 2%. I will be finishing soon then, because my battery is dying. But I do get what you're saying. It could be a real bad piece of stuff for us if he is found guilty and they decide to make an example of him and say you're now going to be banned from owning football clubs. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens. Right, my battery on my camera is at about 2%. I've been live for an hour and 4 minutes now, so I'm going to call this quits. Thank you all for watching. I'll be interested to see how we play tomorrow. We need a better performance than the Barnes game, that is a fact. There'll be a review up tomorrow night. There will possibly be a press conference video up on Thursday, because that's when he normally do it. Thursday or Friday. And then there'll be the preview Friday. I'm going to try and get the press conference video done, because I like doing that, and that might get put up as a preview as well, so we'll see what happens there. Thank you for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your comments and questions. Like I said, it's an interesting time to be a Wednesday fan at a minute, because it's not great, let's be honest. It's not looking great at all, and we do need some answer, but also at the same time we need to be realistic and say that we may not get those answers. Glenn, it would be the Wednesday way. If you look at what the Chancery business is known for, is a business family by keeping staff for a long time apart. Yeah, exactly. This is what I said. Chancery is known for keeping employees as family and stuff. And this is the problem. You can't have that with a football club. It just doesn't work, and that's the problem. You need to drop that Thai culture and do it the other way. Good dream. Until next time, over and out. We're all Wednesday, aren't we? Wednesday till I die. Yeah, very much so, DJ, and very much agreed, kind of thing. Leave were 11-point clear. The rebuild sometimes you just need to record Palmer, fucking idiot. Is so mining my video. If you're at work, you may say, oh no, I agree. Just calling Palmer in. Let's be fair, I bet Palmer been called a fucking idiot before, or thing. And to be fair, the thing that I get with that one? The thing that I get with that one is I see a lot of people who jump to it. It's like, players make mistakes. I've seen a lot of players be called a lot worse by players after a game and stuff. And there've been players gone to those. It's what it is. So it'll be interesting to see what it is. So it will be interesting to see what that actually is, Tom. And it's starting to sound more like there's been something with Monk and Westwood than it is to do with players, because if that was the case, you wouldn't see the pictures of him in training and playing and doing stuff, because there have been pictures of Westwood training and Palmer, and they've all been fine. The name Punk Chef came from because I am a punk at heart. I love punk music. I used to have a mohawk, you all know, and I used to be a chef. A long time ago, I used to be a chef, but I can't do kitchen work anymore due to ill health. I'm not allowed to be in a kitchen. So Punk Chef was the reason behind the name. And 41, I actually believe it, because when I was making the YouTube account, Punk Chef was what came up. And I was listening to some 41 while I was doing it, so I shoved the 41 on the end and it worked. So Punk Chef 41 was born. That's the reason behind my name. Not much of a story, but that's why I'm called Punk Chef 41. Ex-chef and now punk kind of thing. Seen someone else with a similar tag called Punk Chef, some American or something. You're the best punk chef tag. Yeah, I've seen him before. He's actually really cool. I think he's deaf, and he's a chef, and he's awesome. Got a lot of respect for him. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for popping in. I hope to see you in the next one as well. Nice to have new people in as well. And like I will always say here, everybody is entitled to their opinions. We may not all agree with them, but we have one thing in common. And the thing we've got in common, we support Sheffield Wednesday and we want to see Sheffield Wednesday do well. So on that bit, I'm going to say, we're all Wednesday, aren't we? And let's just start backing the team as much as we might not want to, but let's just back them and see what happens, because we never know what's going to happen in our club. It's always the Wednesday way, as we say.